We know after 1 year of Trump where he stands and who stands behind him wielding the power. The Heritage Foundation. How do you think he was able to come out with so many executive orders? And how many of them were all pre-vetted before the second term even started? I imagine the anger that Trump feels and the Heritage Foundation feels is not because he really lost in 2020. It's because he lost and they couldn't get their agenda out fast enough. I don't know. I think it was a good idea that we were given a reprieve. Trump knows we got a reprieve, and he's been charged with incitement to riot. He would be criminally liable for the insurrection of 2020, and he would be liable for obstruction of justice by holding classified items and also not letting anyone go into the affairs surrounding January 6, 2020. Never forget, 6 policemen died, and every one of the insurrectionists were pardoned by Trump. This was the beginning. The Proud Boys, the 3%ers, all of them, the Oath Keepers. This was the beginning of Trump's ICE brutality. He got to see how they looked up close and personal, and he gave them free rein. And if he didn't want it, the Heritage Foundation, with all those billionaires and tech bros, they wanted it. Because they don't care about money. Oh no, because they don't care about we, the people. We're the enemy within. I never thought I was the enemy within. I don't look upon my neighbor that way. We're all one large community, and so's Minnesota. One large community. Sure, a lot of us had pockets of crime in our cities. Most of the crime is down. What Trump did in Minnesota is a crime. It's a crime against humanity. And that seems to be the hallmark of the Heritage Foundation. Crimes against humanity. Taking capitalism so far that it is 100% lawless and unaccountable to anyone. In Minnesota today, they're taking the entire day off, every citizen, to recoup and to mourn those who've passed, like Renee Good, and the children, the 5-year-olds who have been taken, and all the people who have wound up in detention for not committing any crime except to have been an immigrant, and some of them weren't even recent immigrants. Shame on the Republican Party, shame on Trump and the Heritage Foundation for thinking that Americans would be happy with this brutality, that we would be happy to have all of our money spent on ICE and Homeland Security. Security for who? Against us? We're not the enemy, but according to Trump, we are, and there's pushback. Today, all over the country at 4 o'clock, as I'm writing and talking with you, there'll be protests about ICE out for good. And we really mean it, because it's the beginning of the pushbacks. We want it. Columbia University is rethinking their complicitness with Trump, and they're going to hold a new board to account for their actions going forward. That's a real plus. And what else is happening that's a plus? Doesn't look like we're going to do anything more in Venezuela. So we picked up Maduro and nothing happened. We wasted $300,000, I understand, by bringing some Palestinians back to the Middle East for trial. Why? Why, when we cannot spend the money frivolously? But Trump doesn't care. He didn't care when it was his money because he went bankrupt 6 times. And he doesn't care when it's our money because he just doesn't care. Money goes to him. He's probably, along with his kids and family, they've probably made over $3-4 billion while in office, while the rest of us are suffering with high energy bills, unaffordable housing, unaffordable groceries, unaffordable child care, you name it, and health care. And by the way, our budget comes up for review January 30th. I understand the Republicans and Democrats got together on putting back $30 billion in scientific projects, NASA, NIH, NOAA, and one other. But those organizations have been defunded for years. The $30 billion is not going to go a long way. It's just going to maintain the status quo. And meanwhile, Trump and his EPA, they say it all. It says we only care about pollution as it reflects on the corporate profits. If the corporate profits suffer, we will contain pollution. If they don't suffer, it's a cost-benefit analysis. The mission is no longer to protect human life from corporate pollution or the environment. No siree. It reverts to the corporation. What's good for the corporation is good for us. And if it isn't, Trump doesn't care. And the Heritage Foundation, hey, they're pleased. For them, it's a win. So, my friends, after 1 year of Trump, I hope everyone is mobilizing and feels the same way I do. And according to the polls, 66 to 70% of us feel the exact same way. We don't like Trump's programs. We want a better way of life. And we can have it when we vote for legislators who care about us, themselves, and our democracy, and stop this adventurism and lawlessness and crimes against humanity. American citizens are not the enemy.